Henry's cat had just seen a fantastic programme. It was all about young knights of the old days that wore heavy suits of armour. They also played conkers with iron balls on the end of chains. In fact, the champion conker player was made king and called William the Conqueror because he won 1066 games straight off. But the bravest knight of all was called St. George. He was very good at rescuing damsels in distress, especially those about to be eaten by dragons. Henry's cat imagined himself as a bold knight, fighting dragons and rescuing damsels, just like St. George. Henry's cat, the bold knight, was asleep in his armour-plated pyjamas, which he always slept in so that he could be ready for any emergency. Suddenly, the fire alarm went. Henry's cat jumped out of bed and slid down the pole. He could see smoke in the distance. Henry's cat galloped as fast as he could and soon arrived at the fire. Of course, it was a dragon, wasn't it? Breathing flames and smoke all over everything. He quickly put out the fire. Then he put up a no smoking notice to show that it was very naughty to smoke. On his way home, Henry's cat bumped into Timid Ted Tortoise, the king's special express messenger. He carried a very important letter. It said, "Dear Henry's cat, please come to our joust tomorrow. Love and kisses, signed, the King." Well, this was very exciting. You don't get a letter from the King every day, do you? Henry's cat got out his best and only suit of armour. It was rusty, patched, moth-eaten and dented. "Oh, I can't go jousting in front of the King in that. I'd better get my faithful servant to do it up." So he rang the servant's bell. "Oh, I'm here! I'm here! What is your bidding, oh master?" said Chris Rabbit. "Oh, look at my suit of armour. It's not very nice to go jousting for the King in, is it? You're supposed to be my true and faithful servant who looks after me." "Leave it to me! Leave it to me! I'll fix it! I'll fix it!" said Chris. While that was being done, Henry's cat got out his weapons. He had to make do with a broomstick for a lance and an old sock full of sand for a club. He was just thinking what else he needed, like an armour-plated handkerchief, when he heard a lot of noise. "Oh, what are you doing with my best suit of armour?" said Henry's cat. "I just washed and pressed it. It'll be all right on the night. It looks very good, fit for a king." "Oh, you don't wash and press suits of armour. How can I wear it now?" said Henry's cat. Don't worry. You don't have to wear it. I'll fix a handle on the back so you can hold it like a shield. And when you're not using it, you can fold it up and put it in your pocket like this," said Chris. Henry's cat thought it was quite a clever idea after all. Suddenly, the sundial struck 1:30. Henry's cat knew he had to be on his way. At the King's castle, a guard looked down from the battlements and said, "Halt, who goes there?" "Oh, it's me, Henry's cat, come to joust." "Joust a minute, and I'll open the door." Inside the castle, Henry's cat saw on the notice board that his opponent was none other than Sirloin of Lamb, a dark and stormy knight who everyone feared. Henry's cat was about to have second thoughts when he saw the prizes. They were well worth fighting for. especially the doughnuts. At that moment, a trumpeter sounded a fanfare, and the king announced the jousting contest. Ladies and gentlemen, for our first contest, we have in the blue corner, sirloin of lamb. While in the red corner, we have your very own, Henry's cat. Henry's cat quickly put on his horse and unfolded his armour. It was all very exciting. The coat of arms of each contestant was raised. The king blew his whistle, and the joust began. Sirloin of Lamb set off at a fast gallop. His lance had a specially fitted telescopic sight, and his two-bladed sword could be used for digging stones out of horses' hooves. He was a deadly adversary. Henry's cat looked out from behind his armour and then quickly closed his eyes. Henry's cat had won. An instant replay shows what happened. When Sirloin of Lamb struck home with his lance, he hit Henry's cat's suit so that it spun round and hit Sirloin of Lamb with the sock. Henry's cat was very surprised himself. Everyone in the grandstand thought he was very brave. Henry's cat presented himself to the king, who said, "For bravery, skill and cleverness, I proudly present you with all 3 prizes. My daughter's hand in marriage, a free holiday in Brixton, and a large bag of second-hand doughnuts." Henry's cat, being of a very generous disposition, gave the daughter's hand in marriage and the ticket to the local charity for deaf horses, but took the doughnut to remind him of the auspicious occasion. Henry's cat was just about to go home for his afternoon nap when the king said, "I've got a job for you, my lad, with good pay, lots of tea breaks, free ice cream, and a special bonus of all the Christmas pudding you can eat." Well, it was an offer no one could refuse. Henry's cat accepted it immediately. He was just about to ask for an ice cream in advance when the king told him what the job was. It was to catch a dreaded 3-headed dragon. One head had very sharp teeth that could eat anything. The second head could breathe fire, and the third head was the deadliest of all. It told very bad jokes. Dragon guarded a cave in which there was lots of treasure. Henry's cat thought about it. It wasn't every day you could earn free ice cream and Christmas pudding. He also knew he could rely on his faithful servant. They set out and travelled for 7 days non-stop, apart from rests, naps and tea breaks, that is. They soon arrived at a signpost pointing to the dragon's cave. Henry's cat was having second thoughts. "Oh, don't you think we should send a postcard to say we are coming? I mean, it's not polite just to drop in, is it?" Don't worry, I've got a plan that'll fix everything. It'll fix everything." Chris Rabbit showed Henry's cat his inventions. His first invention was a boomerang arrow that came back when you fired it. Chris Rabbit's second invention was also clever. It was a large bone full of toffee, which dragons are very fond of. This could be used in an emergency. Henry's cat now felt more confident. They carried on to the dragon's cave, but the dragon was nowhere to be seen. "Oh, it's not at home. I expect it's gone on holiday. We just have to leave a note to say we called and we'll pop back later." Henry's cat felt very relieved about this and was just about to go back home when Chris Rabbit said, "I expect it's asleep. I'll give it a call." Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. Well, it was asleep and certainly didn't like being woken up by strange rabbits. came out of the cave snapping its teeth, breathing fire and smiling. Undaunted, Henry's cat approached the dragon. The dragon breathed fire and smoke and burnt the sock and the broom. Henry's cat was without weapons to defend himself. It was a situation that demanded quick thinking. Henry's cat immediately took out his emergency rations of banana soup, roast yogurt with peanuts, and chocolate sardines. This would give him the energy to fight the dragon barehanded. But just as he was about to start, the dragon's head with the teeth scoffed the lot. Well, setting fire to weapons is one thing, but eating someone's dinner with not so much as a please or thank you was something else. Henry's cat was furious. He got the rubber bone from Chris to use as a club, but the first dragon's head snatched it before Henry's cat could do anything. The stupid head didn't realise it was eating special toffee invented by Chris Rabbit that stuck things together. Its teeth were soon fixed tight. Henry's cat then fired a boomerang arrow above the second dragon's head. It span round and round. Two of the heads got twisted together and were out of action. 2 down and 1 to go. Chris Rabbit marked them off with his paintbrush. Then came the real test. Could Henry's cat stand a third dragon's head's terrible jokes? Head number 3 saw its opportunity and said, I say, why did the chicken cross the road? To see Gregory Peck. Chris Rabbit and Henry's cat tried to block their ears, but to no avail. And even before they got their strength back, the third dragon's head had another joke ready. What is the difference between Father Christmas and a tin of baked beans? Neither has a beard except Father Christmas. That one knocked them to the ground. They were helpless. The dragon moved in with another terrible joke to finish them off. But just as they thought their last moment had come, Chris Rabbit shouted, Why have elephants got pink eyes? The dragon was caught off guard and said, I don't know. Why do elephants have pink eyes? So they can hide in cherry trees. Quipped Chris Rabbit. I've never seen an elephant hiding in a cherry tree, said the third dragon's head. Oh no, that's because it's got pink eyes, ha ha, said Chris Rabbit as quick as a flash. The dragon knew that he was up against formidable opponents and tried to think up another terrible joke. But Henry's cat seized his chance and said, Oh, how do you start a flea race? 1, 2, flea, go. The dragon was now thoroughly confused and couldn't think at all. Henry's cat moved in for the kill and said, Oh, when is a sailor a piece of wood? When he's aboard. It was all too much for the dragon. It dashed into the cave and slammed the door and left by the back entrance. Henry's cat and his faithful servant had beaten the terrible dragon. The country was free of bad jokes for evermore. Henry's cat told the king how he and Chris Rabbit had beaten the dragon. The king went into the counting house to get them lots of money, and the queen went into the parlour to get them bread and honey. Then they parted, with the king saying, When I saw you fighting Sirloin of Lamb, I said to myself, that cat is a knockout. Well, many a true word spoken in joust, as they say, said Henry's cat, feeling proud of his talent for making terrible jokes in the service of his country.